Lego the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant?
Oh.
Huh?
Hey, yo, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, but I don't know about this music right now, bro. This joint not really going with the video. Nah, hold up. Let him cook, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah, boy.
Now the Iron Giant here is coming in at 12 inches tall from head to toe, consists of about 760 pieces, and should take you only an hour or two to build.
Nice.
Now this is one of my buyable builds, so if you guys are interested in purchasing the instructions to this guy right here, you can purchase those over on my Rebrickable page. The link to that is in the description. And also keep in mind, if you decide to become a Patreon, you actually get access to all of my instructions. So instead of having to buy them one by one off of Rebrickable for $1 or $2 each, if you decide to become a paying member, you can just get all of them in one bulk load for $5 a month.
Wow.
Okay, now back to the Iron Giant here. As you can see, the stability of this guy is on another level, and that's really just because I use those Technic locking joints to reinforce and build out all of his limbs. So unlike my Lego Transformer builds, which sometimes struggle to manage the weight of their arms just due to the sheer amount of pieces that are on the arms themselves, that is not an issue with this build right here. And so because of that, my man's the Iron Giant here is able to hit some really cool poses even with all his weapons attached. Can I get a sheesh please? And speaking of the weaponry, your boy does come complete with the two signature Iron Giant weapons you see here. The first one we have on the right arm is the signature arm cannon.
Ooh.
And the second one is the mechanical claw thingy-mawitzer here.
What?
Now when you're attaching the claw, all you have to do is remove the hand component, which attaches via this blue Technic pin. So you pretty much just pull it in and pull it out. It's really easy, just a quick swap method. With the arm cannon now though, you're gonna have to actually untab the entire forearm, which is attached via that Technic ratchet locking joint that I told you guys about before. So it is gonna take a decent amount of pressure to kind of get it off the pin, but once you replace it with the arm cannon and snap it back on, you do get a lot of posability out of it. And not only do you get that posability, like I said before, you also get that stability. So even though it may be a bit of a hassle getting these components on there, once they're on there for good. So you can get some really cool poses and some odd angles with this guy. Now, assembling this guy is actually pretty easy. What you're gonna do is build him from the bottom up. So first you're gonna start off by planting the two legs on the ground. Then you're gonna attach the middle section, which is the waist. And after that, you're going to attach the upper body, which is the torso. Once we're at that point, we're pretty much almost done. All you have to do is attach the arms one at a time. And lastly, we just place that nice head on top of those circular bricks. Now I need you to pay attention to this step right here because these two steps are crucial in the assembling process. If you do not do these steps, you will go to the bathroom and your Iron Giant will be on the floor in shambles when you come back. Bruh. Okay, now what I need you to do is this. Pay attention because this is going to save you a lot of triggering. You must ensure that this 1x1 clip piece here is bent in to the point where it reaches resistance by meeting this circular ratchet endpoint here. Because if you don't, the legs will buckle forward and the whole upper body of the Iron Giant will fall and he will be in pieces on the floor.
Whoa! Damn!
You see, because these ratchet joints are really strong, but the Iron Giant has this really weird and obscure design. Most mechs have joints that are reinforced by other parts of the leg, so it's kind of just like a brick going down, a nice big thigh piece, and then a slender calf. However, the Iron Giant here has really skinny knee joints, so you sometimes get that wobbly action going. And because his upper body is so massive, what'll happen is if the knees aren't reinforced, if you just knock the table by accident, the upper body will tilt forward just a little bit and then he'll cave at the knees forward and just bring everything else down. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do. As for the second thing, it's actually on the other side of his legs because we actually have a similar situation going on with the back of his legs. Okay, now swinging around to the back here, I actually had to reinforce the back of the legs in a different way because if I use the same technique that I use in the front portion of the leg, he would actually lose a lot of leg articulation. Like it wouldn't be able to bend back as much, and I didn't want that. So I actually reinforced the bottom of the back of the feet here. So all you'll have to do is just make sure these clip pieces pieces that are at the back of his feet are folded down, and that'll prevent him from buckling backwards. So the idea here is just to make sure the clips are pushed down just enough that it pushes the back of his legs up like 1/1000th of a centimeter so that he can balance a little bit better. Now after all those things are taken care of, I'd say you're good to go, bruh. Now just on a side note, if you too build Lego Transformers or Lego Mechs and would like somewhere to share your work, you should definitely pop into my Lego Mech Facebook group. And don't forget, I've also got a link to some clothing merch in the description, as well as my Instagram page where I post pictures of all of my mocks. Now as for the articulation, by now you can probably tell that the articulation is pretty decent. We've got some movement in the legs here. They can bend at the knee backward 90 degrees, and if you actually change the position of that 1x1 clip piece at the front of the leg, they actually can bend forward as well. He actually can bend at the thighs and the hips as well, so if you use all of those articulation points in conjunction, you actually can get him to bend over and make it look as though he's trying to pick something off of the ground or point at something on the ground. Though I would not run the risk of leaving this guy in these positions for extended periods of time, because you do run the risk of the upper body just spontaneously snapping off. And speaking of the upper body, we do get a nice 360 rotation of that upper torso there, and a decent amount of articulation in the shoulders, bicep, forearm, and even the hand and the fingers. And lastly, we of course have the Iron Giant's head here, which you can get some nice left and right articulation going, or even a 360 if you really wanted to. Unfortunately, I didn't really work in some up and downward movement in there, but the 360 is still good enough for posing. The main reason really being I didn't want to run the risk of making his neck less stable just for some additional articulation. But anyway, on a side note, if you guys are interested in seeing another one of my buyable mocks, I'll leave the link to my Pacific Rim Crimson Typhoon build at the end of this video. And last but not least, shout out to KDude1997 for being a Patreon of the channel.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?